Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on today's show, Cadillac showing off their brand new CTS6 plug-in hybrid over at the old LA Motor Show. Now this vehicle comes with a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with twin electric engines along with it, making a combined of 335 horsepower and 432 pounds-feet of torque. Now this gets you up to 400 miles of extended range, along with 30 of those miles being in strict EV range. Oddly enough, talking about a hybrid where 0 to 60 comes in at just 5.2 seconds with a top speed of 150 miles an hour. The vehicle has miles per gallon equivalency of 65 miles per gallon, so that's not too bad at all. And this vehicle will be available in spring of 2017 with a starting price of $76,090 US. Next up on the list, a little interesting situation from the Jeep Group. Auto Forecast Solutions is reporting that the Jeep Wagoneer, or the Grand Wagoneer I should say, that was supposedly coming out, the big flagship for Jeep, apparently now has been canceled. The size of the vehicle that they're actually wanting to produce will not fit on the platform that they're looking at right now. There is some reports that maybe Jeep may be looking in a little bit at trying another platform for this machine, so we'll have to wait and see on this front. But for now, the Grand Wagoneer, which I was actually really looking forward to, apparently is no more. Next up on the list, we talked about this machine in the past, Mercedes-Benz AMG GTR. Now, basically, this is the AMG GT, but this is a more track-focused machine, that being the GTR, including a 4-liter twin-turbocharged, dry-sump lubricated V8, making 557 horsepower, 516 pounds-feet of torque. That is shifted through a speed shift, 7-speed, dual-clutch transmission. Vehicle will be able to do 0 to 60 in just 3.5 seconds with a top speed of just under 200 miles an hour. Now, why are we talking about this machine? Because official European pricing has been released over the past several days, and it has a starting price of €165,410. U.S. pricing has yet to be released, but we hopefully have that information, hopefully in the next several weeks. Next up on the list, let's talk a little bit about diesels. In fact, diesels, especially here in the United States. And, okay, let's not talk about Vin Diesel. Let's talk about diesel engines. Now, it's been an interesting situation over the past several months where diesels aren't really a situation that's hugely popular here in the United States over the past several years. But I've really been championing diesel technology, especially in this program over the past several years, and we've seen it steadily eke upwards a little bit every year. Now, it really wasn't because of me, but it was just because diesels were becoming a little bit more of a fashion item. All over the world, diesels sell exceptionally well, but here in the United States, for one reason or another, it just wasn't happening. But it really was over the past several years, thinking that maybe diesels may become somewhat of a larger segment inside of the U.S. market than it ever has been. Now, diesel trucks, especially over the past several years in this huge wave of diesel pickups that have been hugely popular, has been something that's really something that probably will never go away. But diesels in automobiles has been a little bit of a different story. But now here we are looking 2017 square in the face, and this whole VW diesel scandal situation apparently is killing off diesels here in the United States. Volkswagen, not surprisingly enough, is already making some announcements that they may no longer sell diesels in the U.S. We're also hearing that Mercedes-Benz also is on the short list of not selling diesels here in the U.S. And you're looking at engines like the one that we're looking at here, Chevrolet's diesel that's inside of the brand new Chevrolet Cruze. Mazda's got a brand new diesel coming. And there's a lot of manufacturers who have thrown a lot of cash at building new technology for these new diesels, and now, could it be that they'll be gone for good in the next couple of years? It's a weird situation that we're living in right now, especially the sheer fact that Volkswagen basically cheated. They didn't really make diesels terrible, and diesels never were really awful, but apparently that's the way it's looked at here in the United States, and maybe the way it's looked like around the world, as there's been a lot of folks taking a lot of pot shots at old Volkswagen, probably deservedly so, especially for what they actually did. But could it be that diesels could no longer be here in the U.S. and maybe on the short list of everywhere else around the world? It's a weird, weird world we live in right now. So we'll have to wait and see on this front over the next several years. Last up on the list, this is a situation that you may never hear me say these words again. We're going to talk about Justin Bieber, and especially his 458 Italia, heavily modified 458 Italia. Several weeks ago, Mr. Bieber, the Canadian-born musician, actually took his Ferrari to a place, this was called Montage Hotel, in Beverly Hills, where he left it with a valet and then went out on the town. Apparently, it was a cracking good time because Mr. Bieber forgot where he left his Ferrari. In fact, forgot it so well that they couldn't find the car for nearly 3 weeks. Yes, you heard me right. Until one of his people actually called this particular hotel where they told him, yes, the car is here in our locked storage unit. So they were very, very happy to recover this particular machine. But have to say, that party must have been pretty fantastic if you forget where your automobile is for that length of time. Now I have to say a little story about myself. I can remember several years ago, perhaps early 90s, mid-90s maybe, myself and a buddy of mine actually went to a monster truck show very close to Old Motor Cars HQ here. And when we came out at the event at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning or something like that, could not find the vehicle that we went to the event in. In fact, we were really brainstorming of what we were going to do, who we were going to call to try to get a ride home, which is well over an hour from where we lived. And then as the parking lot slowly and surely kind of thinned out, there was the vehicle. Bright red from head to toe. This vehicle was hard to miss, but we missed it entirely, totally forgetting where the vehicle was. It was pretty weird. There was probably about 7 cars left in that parking lot before we finally found the vehicle. So, yeah, a little bit embarrassed. So I guess I can feel a little bit of Bieber's pain, but man, 3 weeks. Wow. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiast. Don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page. The link's down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. And here we are here in the United States, the eve of Thanksgiving. If you are a person that celebrates Thanksgiving, I hope you have a great time with family and friends. And one thing that I'm super thankful for is I'm super thankful for all those folks that watch this particular program. You guys sure have made it fun over the past almost 5 years. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.